So I was asked to talk on marketing. So I thought, okay, well, a good place to start is to say, well, what is marketing? The Chartered Institute of Marketing's definition is marketing is a management process responsible for identifying, anticipating, and satisfying customer requirements profitably. That's what marketing is. Now, often marketing is thought about attracting new business. That's one aspect. But another aspect is looking after customers requirements. For the purposes of today, I'm going to look at attracting new business and what we're going to have to do to be able to get through all of this information that's coming across. Perhaps looking after existing clients as a presentation that I could do at next year's ITI Congress. I was at the BDTA showcase the other week, and a technician came up to me and said, have you seen that stand over there? That lab over there, they're doing crowns for, I don't know, £19, and they're all going out across, they're going out overseas. How can we compete with that? I can't compete with that. So I said, well, you can compete with that because they're on a different strategy. So just to put it clear in our minds what these guys are doing and what are we doing with our businesses. Who do we compete with? Who don't we compete with? Well, one of those things, one of the ways of looking at that is to say, well, what is our competitive strategy? And there are two main competitive strategies. One is to be competing on cost. One is to be competing on difference. My products are different to yours. That's how I compete. That's why you should send work to my laboratory. That's for the patients. That's why you should come to my surgery. Or I could say, you've got to send it to me because I'm cheapest. So just to give you a few sort of generally recognised examples to those. Asda. Where are they? Where do you reckon? Cost or differentiation? Cost? Absolutely. I reckon they compete on cost. That's what Asda do. Waitrose. Where would you say? Differentiation, probably going the other way. Morrison's. That's a bit harder, and I can accept an argument either way. I put it that way because of the advertising, the marketing at the moment is, you can come to our fish counter and you can ask which particular fisherman caught what fish and what was the fish's name and all that kind of thing, which is kind of a slightly different tack to saying, come and check our website and see if we're cheaper than the next door. Okay? So I put them down as differentiation. And Tesco, they do a bit of both as well. They do a bit of both. But I put them down to cost primarily. And you've seen the adverts. Today we checked 3,000 products and found that Tesco were cheaper on this number and Asda. So they're quite definitely, these guys are quite definitely locked into this cost battle. And these guys are locked into this differentiation battle. Now, if you decide to position your business in one of those particular strategies, you've got to compete. You've got to compete. So if you decide to go down this route, I haven't got a problem with that, with competing with cost. As long as you know that, if that is what you're competing on, and your competitor drops his prices, your strategy is competing on cost, you've got to drop yours. That is the way a strategy will work if you compete on cost. And that's fine, I haven't got a problem with that. That's a business strategy. Differentiation is equally as difficult, but if you say, well, I do something different, that's why you should use my services as a business, and somebody else comes up with something better, then you've got to come up with something better. But it's a whole different ballgame to competing with these guys. So my answer to this technician that came up to me at the showcase and said, how can I compete with a crown that's this price? I said, well, you do compete because they're on a totally different strategy to you. You either decide to join their strategy and compete with them directly, or you stay in a different strategy.